to your garden, I eat from your tree, I step in your river, and it takes me deep. Your heart is my temple, your tears rinse my feet. I walk out, I'm able to carry your peace. It reminds me of a song that I heard long ago. Maybe I've always known that you were right there. A simple melody playing over and over in my dreams, but somehow our love reached, eluding me until I release. You come close to me when I release, and I let you take the lead when I release. My heart starts to see when I release. When I release, you said, come to my garden, eat from my tree, step in my river, let it take you deep. Your heart is my temple, your tears rinse my feet. You walk out, you're able to carry my peace. It's an ancient sound heard from the ones who came before. Now it's here once more to pierce your soul. A simple melody playing over and over in your streets, like a whirlwind turning things, tearing down the dark. That's where I release, and my heart starts to sing when I release. I let you take the lead when I release. You come close to me when I release. When I release, it's all in your feelings. It's all how I receive your sound. All in your feelings, your emotions, they find me out. It's all in your feelings. It's all how I receive your sound. All in your feelings, your emotions, they find me out. When I let it go, when I let it go, when I let it go, I let it all go now. I let it go, now I let it go. I let it go. Whoa, I let it all go now. Let it all go now.
What's up, everybody? We are live. We're here. We're ready to do our thing this evening. Just lost Simone for some reason. But shout out to everybody who's watching right now. We started a little late. Had a lot to set up this evening. But you're here. You're watching Young Lion TV. So let's go.
Young lion, everywhere I look, they're dying. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Young lion, everywhere I look, they're dying. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Young lion, won't you get up and start fighting? Everywhere I look, they're hiding.
Yeah, we're here. Tuesday night, another conversation. We're here live at True Sound Studios. And, we got a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on, a lot of stuff that, we're always sending little links back and forth to each other like, yo, we got to talk about this. So I got James here with me today. Yes, sir.
What's up?
We got Stan and Jake, of course, rocking the...
Hold up. You didn't do the intro for
You didn't do the intro for our friend here.
What?
Please give it to me.
We got to do the intro now. Okay.
Notice I was lackluster.
Yeah, he was kind of a little less energetic.
There was no emotions at all.
Okay, sitting in the fifth seat, as he always does when he makes his appearance, we have the half black, half Indian, with the Spanish last name, Mr. James Garcia, aka
Confusing everybody.
the Build Right. The Build Right. He's been busy working, but he's here tonight, so we're gonna have a good conversation with our brother. And then we got Jake and Stan, of course. Sitting opposite seats as usual, rocking the merch. I love it. Stan's got the 20th anniversary Jatan shirt, and Jake has got the Young Lion merch, which you can get by sending us money to the Cash App if you want to support that. And then we got sitting in on the ones and twos, DJ Simone Chang. He's over there because John had to go to the bathroom. I guess.
I don't know.
Well,
he was saying something, but I wasn't listening.
Okay, so you'll be back over here as soon as he gets back downstairs,
Right.
sitting right here.
Right.
But shout out to everybody who's in the chat right now. I see a couple comments coming in. It's not updating. But yeah, if you guys are watching right now, please hit that like button, hit the share button. Let the algorithm know that we are live because we are shadow banned on all platforms. And we're streaming on all platforms, YouTube, Facebook. We're on Twitch. We're on Rumble. We really need you guys to support and hit that share button, hit the like button. And also, don't forget, we have a Patreon. If you want to become a member and you want to really support.
I don't know how to do any of that.
Don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it, bro.
I'm limited over here, you know?
Don't even worry about it. We'll just shout it out. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/YoungLionTV. And on there, you can become a member. You can sign up to be a part of this kingdom that we are building here. And, all the support goes to us getting a more streamlined thing so we can start on time on Tuesdays. It'll free everything up so we can have a more flowing production here. But also, we have the Cash App again. Like I said, if you want to get one of the T-shirts like Jake has right there, the Young Lion shirt on the other side there.
We got them large sizes, too.
You got the large sizes coming.
Saturday, I'll have them.
Switch over to him so they can see the shirt as I talk about it.
Yeah.
The Young Lion shirt there. There's a white and a black, and he's wearing the black today.
the large.
I almost had the white on, but it was wrinkled.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't have time to iron it.
Stan got a medium on right now.
Yeah. But if you want to get that shirt is not available on our website yet because they're brand new. But you can get one by just sending $20 to the Cash App, and we will ship you out one if we'll communicate from that point, and we'll get you a T-shirt. Just put it in the subject that it's for a T-shirt, say what size you want, and all that good stuff. Our Cash App is just $Young Lion TV on Cash App, and you can hit us there for a T-shirt. Other than that, our website, jatan.com, if you want to check out our music and hear the merch, see the merch and support that way as well. all that stuff just goes to us, keeping the lights on and getting better equipment, trying to do a better production here every week, and then maybe possibly doing it more than once a week if we can get to that point. But we're at episode 152 right now.
Yes.
152.
152. Wow. We're gonna talk about. You weren't here last week, Jake, but we had a whole rant about 151 because it was episode 151. That was when you were typing in, but you couldn't hear us, and we were talking about like what that number means to us from being younger.
Yeah.
151. You know what I mean? It's like
The drink.
They're like no one understands. That doesn't even exist anymore. But we were just talking about like when you're young, it's the worst thing you could ever drink. But we all tried it not knowing how bad it was.
Yeah.
Cardi 151.
Yeah.
I think you can put it in your gas tank. And
You probably
I
could.
think you just drink that for the pride of your hood.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Right. And to be cool, right?
Yeah.
because that's where it came from. Like rap songs.
Yeah, we heard it in songs. We it's a part of the culture, and then you just want to.
James is mighty
cool.
quiet over there.
I don't
You
even
don't
know.
know.
This is. I'm not gonna lie.
You don't know what Bacardi 151 is?
I know Bacardi. I don't know what 151 is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was literally like drinking rubbing alcohol, brown
It was
rubbing
nasty,
alcohol.
dude.
Yeah,
You felt it going down
Right.
The burn.
all the way.
and then it burnt for like a good minute and a half after
Yeah,
you drank it in your stomach.
In your stomach. Yep.
Also, if you want to join in on the conversation, I have the rendezvous link pinned up in the chat on Facebook.
Oh, you got that already?
Yeah, John sent it to me, so we good with that. So you might be in the green room until John gets back from the bathroom, but just click on that link and then we can bring you in on the conversation. But other than that, okay, what's going on, y'all? How's everybody been doing?
Not much. Just work, family.
Good.
Work, family.
We had a nice party this past
Had
weekend.
a good time.
Yeah.
Had a good time at my niece's birthday party. Jake's daughter, Layla, turned the big 1-0,
1-0.
double digits. How's it feel, man?
Double digits.
It's weird.
It's weird, like that she's that old already.
Yeah. I mean, parents always say that.
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
Yeah.
But it's weird. But I love it because she doesn't want to grow up like too fast. So she's like, she's not trying to be grown.
Right.
She's enjoying. She still plays with Barbie. She's still,
Yeah.
She wants to be young. So
She's definitely a cute.
That changes so fast, man. I'm telling you, I remember when Elise was 10, she was the same way. And now she's 12, about to be 12.
Yeah.
And I already see her like feeling like she's outgrown a lot of that stuff. You know what I mean?
She doesn't do it no more.
Yeah.
So Jake, before the podcast, he was telling me, all his kids telling on Noah about how rough he is.
why does his camera look like that?
Yeah, it came up out of nowhere.
Yeah,
What
I told him that was coming up in the beginning.
What? Oh, yeah, I don't know why.
It wasn't there
It's not
before.
on the screen though.
I don't know. Something's up with
Well,
that
anyways, speaking of kids being weird,
It is on the screen.
Noe, he's going through puberty because his voice dropped and he doesn't know his strength. So, he's playing with all the smaller kids and roughing them up, not knowing.
camera. Being too rough.
He's torturing those kids.
Yeah, all I remember is like it was pitch black over by your trampoline. We're all over there talking, having our podcast at the party, and we just hear all the kids like screaming and running around and like chanting. And apparently Noah was in the middle of all of that. Something about him playing dead, and then they would scream to wake him up, and then he would chase them.
He was the
Right.
monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a monster with his normal voice because it's changing, so he don't gotta act.
Yeah.
But we had fun.
Yeah. I know it's
Good
good
time.
seeing everybody.
Yeah.
And we had the four of us had a nice victory at the Frisbee game. What's that game called, by the way?
I have no clue.
You
Yeah.
gotta make a name up for it.
Yeah, but we had a nice victory,
Yeah.
beat the youngins.
Showed them
You
young
know.
bucks what was up.
Yeah, they,
Yeah, I showed up late and was kind of jelly.
yeah,
I wanted to play.
yeah. We saw you. We saw you over there pouting a
Getting
little
antsy.
bit. Man, I wanted to play. Let me in. Anybody need a break? It was a serious battle of frisbee, man.
Yeah.
But we pulled it out at
That
the
game
end.
is fun.
It
Yeah,
is.
it is.
It is.
Just being around people and, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good to see Alonzo.
Yeah.
Maybe Alonzo
Yeah,
for the-
Alonzo.
Yeah, that
Even
was the
Shaniqua
first
said
time.
that. She's like, oh, that feel good. I was like, girl, I don't know why you. You the one that.
Watch your mouth now, boy.
You know you on the pod. You on the pod and she watching. She watching you, man.
About to take you down there, boy.
Nah, but I feel you. Like it was good. Like
Yeah.
good to have him out and let everybody see him.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
He's such a chill baby. Like,
Yeah.
everybody enjoyed him. It seemed like Amber really liked holding him.
Yeah, yeah.
That was
Yeah.
funny. But yeah, it was a good time, man. Good time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so what's going on, man? Anybody got anything they want to talk about before we get into what I got?
No, let's get into
No,
it.
let's get to it.
All right, let's get into it. It's already late.
Go.
So, first things first, Uncle Joe, we got to talk about him.
Oh boy.
All right.
We got a show.
Do I just?
Yeah, you could just bring that up like that. It's fine.
How-
We'll
what?
make it simple, bro. Just
How-
keep it like that. I'll go full screen on you here. Boom.
Oh, ma'am. All right.
All right, let's listen to our old uncle and see what
Hold
he's
up.
got to say.
Hold up. I think I got it. Oh.
Okay, there you go. There you go. He's learning. He's learning.
On the job.
Here we go.
Folks, and to celebrate the indispensable partnerships that are strengthening by the deep family ties and heritage and the values reflected in the AANHPI.
No.
Folks, and to celebrate the
No.
indispensable partnerships that are strengthening
No way,
by the
dude.
deep family ties and heritage and the values reflected in the AANHPI.
Look at the Asian lady.
Folks,
Why are they doing this, man? They know he can't handle that stuff.
Just stop letting him talk. Like we would be better off if he just doesn't
Yeah.
talk in public.
But he's joking along because he knows.
he tried to make it a joke at the end.
yeah.
Because he
But-
knew he messed up. Like,
Yeah. And everyone laughs like, "Oh, that's our president."
Yeah.
Like,
nah, man.
no, that's not. This is why
Yeah.
you leaving your post.
I didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, because I'm about to play another video. All right. Then this was kind of funny. I don't know if y'all saw this, but he was this is when he flew to Japan. You guys hear about
I
this?
see this one.
Because he was on a 5-day trip or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. But the funny thing was and everybody on Twitter was commenting how like he's exiting the plane by himself when he's wearing a mask, and then watch as he approaches the people.
Right. I mean, that's how you stay protected.
That makes sense.
You know.
Yeah. Doesn't that just make perfect sense?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how science works, guys.
And that mask works, definitely.
Yeah, right. It's science, guys. It's science. Let's see what else we got. Keep it rolling. Oh, so this was going around. This was an old, just in case for all of those people that are like, this is just because he's old, or this is just because he's got a stuttering problem. Oh, the media is
Joe.
being too harsh on him. Yeah, this was.
Are they still saying that?
Yes,
They're still saying he has a stuttering?
yes, they're still saying that.
Dude, he's been in office for like 50 years.
40-something years. But this is a montage from when he ran for president. When he was remember when he was telling everybody that he finished at the top of his class at law school. So this was like a montage of all the people talking about it when it finally came out that
Yeah,
he lied.
Wrong.
Yeah.
New Hampshire, I went to law school on a full academic scholarship, the only one in my class to have a full academic scholarship. Went back to law school and, in fact, ended up in the top half of my class. I was the outstanding student in the political science department at the end of my year. I graduated with 3 degrees from undergraduate school and 165 credits, only needed 123 credits.
Biden now concedes he did not graduate in the top half of his law school class, that he does not have 3 degrees from college, and that he was not named outstanding political science student in college.
Newsweek says Biden actually went to school on a half scholarship, ended up near the bottom of his class, and won only 1 degree, not 3.
Joe Biden ranked 76th in a class of 85 at the University of Syracuse Law School. I mean, this guy comes off this whole thing as a flyweight.
Now Biden says Newsweek is right. His memory had failed him.
And I'd be delighted to sit down and compare
Look how
my
much hair he
years
has,
if you
guys.
like, Frank. Joe Biden was victimized by the truth.
Bye-bye Biden. He may not know it yet, but I think this is going to be very difficult for him to recover.
Is Joe Biden dead meat, yes or no?
I think so.
Bob.
Terminal condition.
Criminal.
Dead.
Eleanor.
Yes, unless he comes in third in Iowa.
Morton.
Dying.
I say dead.
I love the old format of TV.
Yeah.
But you know what's sad though is like even though this is thing, he actually won.
Did he win?
No, I'm saying in terms of he accomplished that goal of being a president.
Oh, yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. But it
yeah.
took
That's because it had to be a time when lying was
normalized.
lying was subjective.
Right,
Like,
right.
That's how far we've fallen. That's the point I'm making.
Yeah.
That this exists,
Right.
and this doesn't matter.
Back then, if you found out that you did a major lie like that, you were held accountable.
And that those sources are actually, some of them are PBS, some of them are local news stations.
Yeah.
But you could see the integrity of the reporting, that they're reporting, but they're still maintaining a form of integrity.
It's an unbiased news source.
Unbiased news source, which obviously in today's world we don't even know.
We
what
don't
that
even
is.
know what that is
You know.
anymore.
But to even have a panel, because there's a lot of stuff from the 80s,
Yeah.
and the 90s, but more specifically the 80s, that had sort of a panel slash, like what we see now, but not with the vitriol. It was more in the sense of like discussion.
Yeah.
It wasn't 4-on-1. They'll have
Yeah, it
4,
wasn't. It
yeah,
wasn't that.
you
I
know.
think it became more sensationalized, but you could see that when a lot of these clips are pulled up, there's a sort of discussion of who these politicians were, their stance, what they lied about, what they didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And now you get the 5 people in boxes all
Right.
yelling at each other, cutting off mics, and
Right.
they don't want. Those,
And
those
he
type
would
of
only
discussions.
win under a climate of today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. And speaking of in the past, let's listen to Senator Biden's stance on gay marriage.
I didn't hear him stutter.
Right.
And I also see more hair on him right now. He's older.
He's older, but now he has more hair. Yeah.
Handbasket. We are desperately concerned about the circumstance relating to avian flu. We don't have enough vaccines. We don't have enough police officers. And we're going to debate the next 3 weeks, I'm told, gay marriage, a flag amendment, and God only knows what else. I can't believe the American people can't see through this. We already have a law, the Defense of Marriage Act, where we've all voted, not where I voted and others said, look, marriage is between a man and a woman, and states must respect that. Nobody's violated that law. There's been no challenge to that law. Why do we need a constitutional amendment? Marriage is between a man and a woman. What's the game going on here? And
You see, what's funny about that is because the reason why he's so outspoken and adamant about that at that time is because the polling showed that was the stronger stance to get more voters. Once that starts to shift, then you see the politicians shift their views. They never really hold any views. It's about what are the voters saying, and then that's what I believe. That's what I stand for. You know what I mean? So I thought that was funny, just watching that old clip of him totally contradicting who he is right now.
All of them did that.
They all do that.
Yep.
It's his buddy Obama.
Absolutely.
He was against gay marriage first, but then second term.
Yeah, and against open borders and against a lot of things.
Yeah.
It's just interesting. All right, moving on. Got a clip from Auntie right here.
Our favorite auntie.
It was fantastic. The press actually rode on an electric school bus, just so you know. So I think they got the real inside feeling for what this means, right? And so what we all experienced is on an electric school bus, on an electric bus, no exhaust, no diesel smell. It was fantastic.
She always reminds me of like a teacher.
Or just, yeah, like she's
excited
always acts like she's talking to little kids. Yeah. And then, Stan, you said this. That clip.
Sad.
Like, diesel don't really give off.
No, it does.
Yeah, but not as bad as gasoline.
The old ones, especially.
Yeah, the old diesels.
Yeah.
Older diesels really did, especially when you hit it. That
Yeah.
cloud.
I just thought it was funny the way she was talking.
Yeah. Yeah, like everybody's
2 years old.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I sent the other one too. Well, she said the kids are the community, and
forget
but the community.
The kids are the community. A community of kids are kids that are the community. Right? She said something like that.
Something like that. You're not too far off either. So
Yeah.
Hey, Lena. Shout out to Lena.
What's up, Lena? Mom said, OMG, that's Biden.
That's old Biden.
Oh, Biden. Oh, Biden.
He missed the O because the O was supposed to be capitalized. It's like,
Did y'all hear about this? It's not pulling up. Did y'all hear about this?
Does that say no letter?
Letter to the faithful on notification sent to Speaker Nancy Pelosi. So basically, I guess like one of the archbishops in San Francisco put out a statement saying that Nancy Pelosi is no longer to be allowed to take Holy Communion.
Oh, I heard that. Biden too, right? Is it?
Well,
Biden?
he had said that people have said stuff about Biden in the past, but this specifically just happened.
Yeah, didn't Whoopi go viral?
Whoopi went viral.
She was trying to
because
explain what communion was.
And she
she said that it wasn't a part of his job.
She said it's not his job.
Yeah,
which is literally his. That's his
that
role
is
is to
his
decide
job.
who takes communion.
It's bread for the
sinners. Yo, I'm gonna see if I can find that clip because it was so like you could tell she didn't know what the heck she was talking about. Somebody just told her this.
Say this.
Yeah. Pull it down real quick, Mo, so I can.
I did hear her say that that's not your job.
Yeah.
Actually, it is.
Just go back to the regular screen. Oh Lord.
Lord help me.
It's a long interview.
It's not yellow.
What you say? A long interview?
Interval.
In between.
Oh. All right. I'm just gonna let everyone see me look it up. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah, until she apologizes.
Here, y'all. The abortion rights battle is starting to blur the lines between church and state. The Archbishop of San Francisco is calling for Speaker Nancy Pelosi to be denied receiving communion because of her pro-choice stance. He's one of the priests who also called for President Biden to be denied sacrament. This is not your job, dude. That is not up to you to make that decision.
Because
You know,
Whoopi is an authority on everything Catholic.
Right. But, what is the point of communion?
Look, she's reading it off
It's
of a card
for,
and still can't
sinners.
figure it out.
It's for sinners. It's the reward of saints, but the bread of sinners. How dare you? How dare you? That is, if Pope Francis says that that's the issue, but welcome to the View, y'all.
Okay, that's the clip. How dare you?
You only played a nun.
How dare you?
All right.
And it's been years.
Yo,
I like those movies, but
doesn't she just keep sounding more and more like Marge Simpson's sister?
Yo.
Wasn't she supposed to be moving out the country if
Marge Simpson's black sister.
No, Marge Simpson had twin sisters.
Yeah.
And they sound a lot like her.
They sound like
that.
smokers.
Yeah. That's how they talk.
I think, what she's doing really is, she's probably been given like a little credence to like get out there, and the people who are on the fence about a thing like that, that listen to us, give them something to grasp onto.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just give them a little something.
Just give them something.
Because people want to justify their faith with their politics. They want to blend them a little bit.
Yep.
So you go out there and you say this. That's not your job.
Yeah.
And for the people who can't see what's happening, they're going to be like, they're going to agree with her.
Right.
Because a lot of times those people do. People justify their actions and their behavior by usually someone who says something. It's going against their faith, but it's kind of gives them a way out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think for a lot of Catholics, like they want to feel like they can be these progressive individuals. Because Sonny Hostin is devout Catholic.
That's what I can't remember her name, man.
Sonny's the light skinned black girl.
Light skinned black girl, but she had on there a news reporter who's been making a lot of waves on her stance.
And she was the one who said like black Republicans are oxymorons
because they challenge her on that, because you can't be a black person with any other view than a democratic white liberal ideology.
Yeah, Jake
can't say
sent that video
other than that.
Yeah.
But basically, she asked her. She said, "Wait, look, a black Republican is an oxymoron. Well, you're a Catholic with a pro-choice.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
that's an oxymoron,
right? Yeah. And she doesn't rebut it. She doesn't. She just because you know what it is. I think part of it too is with Catholicism, and I don't know. I could be wrong here, but it's the idea of the forgiveness part. They can do certain things, and
then just go to confession.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know. So if they feel.
Say a certain amount of Hail Mary.
So there's really no. How do I
But the
put
point is, like, if you are going to confession, it's because you're remorseful.
Sure.
So when someone like a Nancy Pelosi is out there adamantly just saying like, no, this is like being an advocate for something, showing that like you don't care about your faith at all. This is when, because I saw like Ruslan played a video earlier today of like what the Archbishop, like what he actually said. And like him speaking on it in the past, and he's just basically taking a stance like, no, these politicians can't keep, thinking that they can be a part of this.
That's what I want to know.
Saying that they believe what they believe
why
in.
Did he say it?
Right.
If you say that you believe in Christ and you believe, because like a lot of people don't know this, that like Catholics don't even believe in contraception. Like the devout Catholics, you're not even supposed to use condoms. Like you're not supposed to impede any type of the process of life being happening
I
from
did not
sex.
know that at all.
Yeah, like you're not supposed to. You're not supposed. If you're a Catholic, they don't believe in that.
But do you think that the confession system that they have in place is a way out for so-called practicing Catholics who are leaning towards the liberal
I
side?
believe, absolutely.
To kind of this is my out.
Absolutely.
You know
I mean, it was a way out for mobsters that were openly killing people. They would just go to confession and give a bunch of money, pay penance, and then they're
so it's just ritual. They're just going through a ritual.
Right.
Okay.
So, but I think for like someone like the Archbishop who believes, like he truly believes that in Christ and what it all stands for, and so he's saying that like we can't continue to allow people to use the Catholic Church in the way that these people are, because like Nancy Pelosi, do you think she's really believes in Jesus? You know what I mean? Like,
it's tradition.
Of course.
For some people, it's tradition.
Yeah. But so you can't. How can you can't? You can't use us to for your voter base because there's a lot of people that voted for her because she's Catholic.
Right.
You know.
What I think it, like you said, she doesn't really believe this, but we're still. This country is still tied into a religious identity and a political. So politicians need they need to have the wife or because people made that point before. If Obama had a white wife, never happened.
No.
You know what I mean?
Well, it would have been. I don't think he would have got 98% of the black vote.
Not the female vote.
He might, definitely the female. He would have got like 85%.
Right. So what I'm trying to say is, from the political standpoint, they have to be relatable, religiously, family. like it's not just the what are they going to do for the country economically, all this other stuff. It's
to a certain extent. I think that's changing a lot when you look. at
back in the day.
Oh yeah,
this is
definitely.
Now, no, it's definitely changed. But back in the day, you had to have the dog, and you have to look a certain way. You believe this,
right?
I mean, we just heard Biden right there.
Yeah,
what he's saying is very Judeo-Christian,
right?
And
they do these focus groups on like what color tie you should wear at all times, what color suit, and what should be your stances on things. I heard they did like a whole focus group on like catchphrases, and that's where the Ultra MAGA thing came from.
Oh yeah, I did hear about that. Well, he came up with the ultra part of it.
Oh, he did.
I think something. It was something that they did a focus group on it. And he added the ultra.
He added
or something like that.
So what was it? Just MAGA? Like
I don't know. Mega, maybe it was Mega MAGA or something like that.
Mega
Ultra.
MAGA.
There was a step before Ultra MAGA.
Yeah.
So. That sounds so powerful.
But Biden did the same thing about the whole stance on abortion.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have a debate with you on theology.
Mm-hmm.
Like.
Yeah,
but he's got the ash on his head.
It's not. Yeah, right. You got the ash on your head, and you want to take communion. Yeah.
A lot of them do that.
Yeah, a lot of them. There's a lot of Catholic Democrats that are advocating for late-term abortion. You know what I mean?
AKA murder.
Right.
Yep. Shout out to Shaniqua. She's watching, so watch what you say.
You have these people who watch shows like The View, and you have Whoopi and who's the other lady we were talking about? Sunny.
Joy Behar,
Sunny hosting, and
Joy.
And what are they doing? They're just looking for confirmation to be able to think the way they think. A lot of times, they just want agreement.
Yeah,
women are more agreeable than men. That's why they have those shows.
Yeah.
They want to be around it. You have that table, like it's just about agreeing. That's why there's only like one Republican on that show.
Yeah,
who's barely a Republican.
Right. Yeah.
She doesn't like Trump.
Is she there anymore?
No, she's not even there.
She's not even there.
She quit. Yeah. And they're having trouble finding someone to replace her.
I think that's what they brought on that one girl. Black girl.
But they because when they were looking for a new they always have only one kind of conservative voice on that show.
Yeah.
And when they were looking for the new one, they had like all these stipulations, like you must not be okay with January 6th. You must be able to call it an insurrection. You must be able to take the vaccine. Like it's all these things they had. Like you have to be that type of conservative.
Can Miss Owens come forth?
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you think those shows, like real quick, those type of shows, do you think they're pulling in the ratings, or they're just basically the stations are pushing them because there's a certain ideology that they need to pump?
I think it's more that. I think their ratings are doing
garbage.
I think their ratings
crazy.
Are like CNN.
Right.
Like they play it.
Because I'm like, who's watching this?
Right.
But we got to keep this on.
Yeah.
This is our window of shouting in the street.
Right.
So we can open the window and shout. We're not doing anything.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
This is our ministry of truth.
Right. This is how we continue to push whatever narrative we want.
And people, and there's a reason why they have different versions, so they can all identify with Whoopi, Sunny, whoever.
Yep.
And it's definitely a ministry, and it's definitely about judgment, because that's what they do. They judge all day long, and then they gang up.
Yeah, I think they just canceled the younger version of that, the real.
They did cancel that. Right? They did cancel that.
The real.
I saw a clip the other day of they were talking about the Pew Research about how the left and right are further apart than ever before, and then Sonny says like that's because the right is so extreme now and the left is actually moderate. Like,
wow. Yeah, what she said, and the thing was like. So she was the one bringing forth the information, but like it's funny because then she added her own opinion into the information as if it was
factual.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was part of,
which is why those shows are dangerous.
Yeah. She added that in as if it was fact, but it was really just her opinion.
Right. And I hope they keep doing this so people, hopefully their viewers can see through whoever's viewing it.
Well, what they didn't account for was the new era of social media, which you have a lot of people who are dedicated to watching hours and hours of this, and they can cut clips, and they can basically show things the way it would have, the correct way, and show people, no, this is not what this is meant. This is not, never before have we ever had that before in media to do that.
And you have like the younger generation that doesn't even watch that.
Right. No.
You know what I mean? Like, so that
they're just making up numbers at this point in time.
Right. The whole thing that they're going to deal with is a dying audience. And so like the younger generation isn't even fooled by it because everyone that we watch is always breaking down why they're lying. You know what I mean? Like everyone every day I see a video on why the View lied about something. You know what I mean?
Right. Or just talk show in general, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But the View gets it a lot because they just have the most ridiculous things to say a lot of times. But I want to show this video from Ruslan's thing today about what the Archbishop actually said. So I'll pull this up real quick.
And then there's a video we're going to look at of him actually addressing this situation head on. So check this out.
I wanted to draw this parallel because at the middle of the last century, civil rights was the paramount human rights issue of that.
He actually makes a really good point here too, talking about civil rights and like how at that time, people were debating whether or not, it was right to have slaves or not. You know what I mean? That was a huge debate at the time.
In the 60s to have slaves?
No. I meant like.
You're the right. Yeah.
When slavery was like when we had the Civil War.
Okay, I got you.
But they were debating whether or not to end segregation. Like this has always been like an issue that we've debated whether or not people should have rights. Humans should have certain rights above others, right?
Right.
So now we're doing the same thing with a life in the womb.
Right.
Does that life
and I
have
hate
rights?
that comparison too.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what?
Well, it's valid in a sense because it's like how can you say one is different than the other? Like just because one is in the womb and one is a full-grown human, who are we to say if they have rights or not?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay, I got you.
You understand that? So like for years they thought that black people didn't have certain rights, all the way from slavery and beyond. But that's something that we had to change through law, So he's basically
at time. And we shudder in horror nowadays when we think about the treatment of African Americans in the pre-civil rights South. The immorality of it is so clear to us, and it's very shameful that this happened. So the Archbishop of New Orleans at that time was on the forefront of moving toward civil rights in his archdiocese and was opposed by some prominent Catholics. He was accused of meddling in politics. He was accused of, taking the church back to the Dark Ages when he excommunicated those 3 prominent Catholics. I wanted to draw that parallel because abortion now is the paramount human rights issue of our day. We think about what happened in the South, not only segregation, but even lynchings were carried on, and they were condoned, and people got away with it. And there's a certain cultural blind.
You see that comparison right there, where it's like people showed up to lynchings as an event. You know what I mean? And it was considered normal. It was considered okay. It was and when they wanted to take that away from people, people were mad about it. You know what I mean? Like it seems so ridiculous and crazy to us now because we've come so far past that. You know what I mean? But how is that much different than the fact that people are fighting for the right to kill their babies?
I understand.
You know what I mean?
I understand.
Like maybe 100 years from now, people will be like, how did how is that okay?
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So he's making the comparison that that's a civil rights issue that we're dealing with in today's day and age.
Right.
That we just don't see it yet because we're in the middle of it. You know what I mean?
That's what I don't like about that whole argument of, the Constitution wasn't written for us. All right. But now it is.
Right. I mean, maybe it didn't apply to us at the
Based
time.
on the laws.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was written.
When you say us, you mean black people?
Black people. Yeah.
Or anyone of color.
Right.
Yeah.
Or Cambodians.
Yeah.
I'm just as dark as he is.
But it wasn't for women either, really.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's you can say that, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't apply now.
Right.
Or it wasn't like something that transcended even what they thought it you know what I mean? It stood for.
Right.
But I'll keep playing this.
Blindness that sets in that blinds people to the injustice, and it's reinforced by even lynchings were carried on, and they were condoned, and people got away with it. And there's a certain cultural blindness that sets in that blinds people to the injustice, and it's reinforced by the powerful people in the society.
Wow. So he says that abortion is the sole, like, biggest issue of civil rights, human rights in our time. Okay. So the giving.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to just do the recap of it. But
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So he's looking at it like she's one of the prominent people in power that's trying to continue that civil rights violation.
Yeah.
Right.
So him as one of the higher ups in the Catholic Church, he has to do what's right as far as like, because he's comparing it to the Archbishop in New Orleans at the time of civil rights who came against those that were doing lynchings and excommunicated people from the church that were involved in that. Like a lot of people that, you know, in the KKK, a lot of them were Catholics. You know what I mean?
Democrats.
Yeah, and Democrats.
That party's never changed.
But, you know, at that time, when that Archbishop made it a point to make an example out of people that were trying to make that okay. You know, it's kind of similar in that way. You know why he's taking this stance against Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi.
Right. And say what you want, you know, AOC might be more popular now, but she wields a lot of power over a lot of people. Yeah. So that is her ministry that she's passing on.
Yep.
So whatever she says goes.
All right, let's play this other clip. I think it's only like a minute long.
The Dobbs case really have nothing to do with it.
So he's saying the Supreme Court decision has nothing to do.
And I've been trying for quite some time she did speak with me over the years a couple of times, but more recently with her advocacy for codifying the Roe decision in federal law, it's becoming more and more extreme and more aggressive. And
so he's saying, look, I've talked to her in the past, but recently she's been dodging me. And it seems like her views on this are becoming more and more extreme.
I've been trying to speak with her about this. I've been debating this within my own conscience for many years, actually. So this is not something that's just come up recently. I've been discerning this. I've consulted with people whom I respect for their intelligence, their integrity, and their pastoral sensitivity, who would have different sort of perspectives on the situation to get their thinking on it. I've done a lot of prayer and fasting, so I've been struggling with this for a long time.
Can you talk a little bit more about the process for informing your conscience and making this decision?
Yes. First of all, one has to be clear about what is right and what is wrong. Okay, so let's be clear about this, that the point of our conscience is not to decide what's right and wrong. Forming our conscience is a process of helping us to figure out what is right and what is wrong.
Our conscience doesn't decide what is right and what is wrong. Forming our this is some interesting stuff this guy's saying.
Conscience is to help us make the right decision in a specific situation based on what is right and wrong. So
our conscience is there to help us make the right decision based on what is right and wrong, not forming and telling you what's right or wrong.
Informing our conscience, again, it's these three principles: the need to address the injustice, to repair scandal, and to move the person down the path of conversion because of the spiritual harm it causes themselves. So in this sense, I was also following the advice that, Pope Benedict, when he was Cardinal Ratzinger in charge of the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith, sent a letter to bishops here in the United States back in 2004, when he gave us advice on how to approach this, specifically with politicians, Catholic politicians, and specifically on the two issues of abortion and euthanasia. And he said we need to meet, to dialogue, to try to move them down the path of conversion. And if after several attempts it comes to the point where it's clear this is not going to happen, then the bishop or the pastor, he says, is to declare that the person is not to be admitted to Holy Communion. So I'm guided by the principles articulated by Pope Francis and taking the approach of the advice that then Cardinal Ratzinger gave us.
This is a top-down issue.
So after you hear him lay that out, it just further shows how Whoopi doesn't know what the heck she's talking about.
At all.
Like that, this comes from top down all the way back 2004. They've been talking about this, like how the process of trying to lead them back to conversion. And then if that doesn't work, then you need to excommunicate at that point. You know what I mean? So that's why when he's talking about as he sees her become more radical on these views and trying to codify it into federal law now, he has to, do what he has to do. Yeah. And she come out just saying like the church is trying to attack her, blah, blah, blah.
Has she said anything yet?
I think she did. Make a statement.
I mean, just looking at it, like they don't do no research.
Yeah.
She
literally was trying to read. She was like, because the point of communion, let me see. It says,
and it's everything. It's all feeling, dude. Like it's like I feel like they just get the little notes and then they react to it on what their stance is.
Right.
Isn't she something like? What's her
Pelosi
worldview? No, Whoopi.
Whoopi?
Isn't she like a?
What do you mean, Sister Act? Man, she's Catholic.
I'm pretty sure she's an atheist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Any thoughts?
I mean, y'all said it. It's there's so much to it. It's just like it's a bunch of judgments that people make that have no clue.
Yeah.
And that's pride. And that's really it. Like we're living in a day where, like you just saw, she read off a piece of paper that she don't even comprehend like what's going on.
Well,
yeah. What she say? It's sacrament for
sinners.
Yeah, something about I don't know. She said,
but she doesn't care. She just wants to pass judgment.
Right.
That's my point. Like that's not the like. It's funny because communion, which is it's interesting because communion is connected to intimacy,
right?
And it's connected to communication, right? So even at that, like, it's heart to heart, and you're not willing to really hear somebody's heart, and that's I think that's the core of the things that we're dealing with is that people want to get caught up in like even abortion, like you want to get caught up in the lesser thing of your right to do a thing because of you wanting to do whatever you wanted to do that got you into having a right to do. Like that is minor compared to life.
Yeah. And not address how you got there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But what matters more than anything, it's life. Life matters. And people get caught up in the weeds, we're paying attention to these things, but none of that matters. It's life. Life is what matters. I'm pro-choice. I'm pro-choice in terms of I'm not really pro-choice.
We knew there was a caveat coming after that. We already knew. Nobody here was going to be like, what? we were waiting for the rest of that statement.
I'm pro-choice in that you get to choose what you want to do in this life, but you also have to pay for the consequences.
Yeah, pro-consequences.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pro-choice, you got to be pro-consequences.
Yeah. And that's like, if you really want to know about God, like the difference is like, it doesn't matter if you know or not. The whole point of there's two different laws. There's the law of sin and death, and then there's a law of liberty.
Right.
There's a law of the spirit of life, right? Now, the thing about Jesus is he gave us the ability to not be judged under the law of sin and death. Now, if you want to judge, you're going to be judged.
Right.
If you want to judge under that law, now you're judged. If that's the choice you have, you can choose life.
Right.
Jesus said it. Choose life or death. Yeah. If you choose to judge others based off of the law, then you're going to be judged based off of that same law.
Yeah.
And if you don't hold yourself to that standard in every part of it, then you're going to be judged by it.
And the one misconception about people who are Christian or pro-life is not that we don't want to have this conversation. We do, because God gives us free will. So we understand your free choice and all stuff like that. But it's when you create an environment where if anything that we say, you want to tell us what to do with your body, but anything we say, you're attacking us. This is why comedians sometimes, the satirical aspect of life can sometimes speak more than a debate, i.e. the Dave Chappelle joke, which was the joke was he says, hey, you're right. Your body, your choice. Yeah.
My money, my choice.
My wallet, my choice.
Yeah.
Because if you have the right to kill him, I have the right to abandon him.
Yeah.
Now, that's
and which one's worse?
That's brutal. That's brutal. No one would say that.
Right.
But in the satirical sense of the ridiculousness of what you're saying,
right.
when we use that same thing to show people like, now what? What's your argument?
Yeah.
Because if you have the right to kill him, I should have the right to abandon him.
Right.
You know, because one, if you ask any of those women, hey, can the man abandon the child?
Nope.
You're a deadbeat.
Is it right for a man to be forced to have a baby he doesn't want?
No.
Because there's only one person with a choice here.
Right.
You know what I mean? The man has no say.
And we have evidence of men who have been found not to be the father.
Right.
That the court still.
And he still is obligated to, if he spent enough time supporting
With the
that child,
yeah.
he's obligated.
Right.
Yeah.
So sometimes the satirical aspect of life can sometimes give
a different perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people are so caught up in, well, what do I get out of it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, like, we got such a loving God that he's patient with us. You know, he's patient with the sinner who wants to do whatever they want, to the point where you might not be judged right away for what you do, but eventually you will be.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why you're not is because God loves you so much and he wants you to turn to him.
Yeah. Sometimes judgment isn't instant. You know. It's sometimes a long ways away.
Yeah.
You know?
For in our perspective.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But I mean, if you listen, if you slow down and listen to people who have lived those kind of lives, it's in the sin. No, they're not repenting, but years later, when they're older, usually, they'll tell you, if I would change this, I would do this, I would do this. You know.
All right.
Well,
Moving on. Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say a joke.
Oh, okay.
But who wants life is China? Because they got rid of that.
Right. They definitely have. China is coming for us, boy.
Right.
Now. Did you see Biden with another gaffe talking about Taiwan? And the White House had to come out and say, he didn't mean that.
What did he say?
He said,
someone asked him, like, if China invades Taiwan, is America going to intervene? And he said yes.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
We'll defend him.
Yeah, and so then of course militarily, and then so then of course the White House comes out and says, "Oh, he didn't mean that. He misspoke." Like, how does he misspoke with a yes or no question?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but anyway, what I was gonna play is, did you guys see this clip of George Bush where he Freudian slipped that went viral?
No.
Yo, you saw that?
Is this recent?
This is crazy. Yeah, he was giving a speech the other day. Watch this. He tells the truth. And then a lot of people didn't catch what he whispers.
Oh, I want to hear this.
Like, watch.
Turn it up. Turn it up, Jamie.
Russian elections are rigged. Political opponents are imprisoned or otherwise eliminated from participating in the electoral process. The result is an absence of checks and balances in Russia, and the decision of one man to launch a wholly unjustified and brutal invasion of Ukraine.
Now that you got the laugh out of the way, now watch what he says right after he says Ukraine. Watch what he whispers. He does his little George Bush laugh, and then he whispers something that really a lot of people didn't pick up on.
Ukraine. Iraq too. Anyway.
Did you hear what he said?
Wow.
Iraq too. He said Iraq too, but anyway.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Yes.
I couldn't believe that. Like, yo, no one was calling that out on Twitter. Like,
right.
He basically admitted Iraq was the same thing. Yeah. And then he tries to play it off.
75.
He tries to play it off because he's 75. First of all, he's not that much younger than Biden.
He's still up there joking.
He's 75 now?
Okay. Like, he seems 10 years younger just from, like, cognitive ability.
Yeah.
Right.
There's people in their 90s. Our grandma is in her 90s.
Right.
And she is more alert.
Yes, that's true.
So.
Right.
Yo. But that was a crazy Freudian slip.
Yeah.
And then he says, well, Iraq too.
Right.
Bro, I couldn't believe it.
You know, and you can do that.
right.
When did you find this?
It was on Twitter.
Yeah, it was,
everybody's posting it. It went viral.
It was after the podcast last week.
Yes,
it was like
Wednesday, Thursday. And I was like, damn it. Yo, I swear, all the good stuff comes out on Wednesday. Because I'm like, yo, every time.
But you know what? It's so irresponsible.
Yeah.
To even joke about that, because I'm just thinking like Simone's cousin. Well,
Yeah.
not really, but you know, Pise, our friend,
that we had to go,
lost his legs in Iraq.
Yeah, we witnessed that situation.
Yeah, and like, and how many people died over there? How many people lost?
You're absolutely
limbs
right.
and stuff. And then you just say that so nonchalantly and
joke about it.
Yeah. To me, it's just like it's disrespectful.
Yeah.
Same thing with Hillary.
And it's irresponsible.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, but the thing is, because this is how they really feel, and they're showing you how they really feel, and people just laugh at it because he's telling the truth. No, look, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what we really need to pay attention to.
Right.
I wish Donnie was watching right now so you could see us talking about Republicans.
Old school Republicans.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right, Jake. Like the fact that you could take that so lightly when it destroyed families, not only American families, but all of the people in Iraq that were killed, that lost their lives. You know what I mean?
And these are the leaders that we've been duped into allowing to run this country, to run our states, to run our townships.
Yep.
You know, these are the types of leaders that we've been giving over, responsibility.
I was going to say we've been irresponsible.
Yeah. And we got to see this stuff now because it's so important. Like real leaders, they take responsibility for things.
Yeah.
That people don't want to do. And that's what it's about. Like, just me coaching soccer and nobody and just saying, oh, I guess I'll do it. Like, I see that. Just being a leader and just teaching some kids some stuff. Like, you gotta fall on the sword. You gotta lay down your life, and you have, in order for them to grow, and in order for you to actually do what you said you're going to do and be responsible for it, you gotta humble yourself,
Yeah.
so that other people can thrive. It's not fair. Like what? We're always looking at like what's fair, Well, it's not fair that I have to do this and they don't. Like, look at our kid, your kid. My kids always do that. But Daddy, it's not fair. Why do they get to do this and I got to do that? And you know what I mean? But we do that as grown-ups.
Yeah.
We act like kids. But who's gonna be? Leaders, real leaders. I'll speak about the greatest leader ever to live, Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Real leaders lay down their lives for everybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's true responsibility.
What more could you do than what he did? You know what I mean?
I was going to ask you who's a real leader, who's like politician wise has taken responsibility of
I don't think
any mistakes that they have made.
I think honestly, like in that world, when you come up in that world, you're told and taught, and all of your team, you never admit to any fault for anything.
Yeah.
Like it will ruin you.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Because they have publicists.
Yes,
that's the publicists are people who.
It's always about spinning it,
hiding and spinning.
Yeah. But I think there have been leaders who didn't want to do the things and they did it. Like I think Trump did that. Like I'm not saying that he's the best leader and most humble person, but what I'm saying is that the effort that he put into humble himself because he did humble himself in terms of giving up a lot to get in that role.
Yeah, in certain ways, but he still was someone who could never admit being wrong about something. You know what I mean?
And I also felt like he did it because they all felt like he couldn't do it.
Right. He did it to prove.
That drove him.
I don't believe that, and you like what you just did was you inserted why he did it. That's intention. But you got to look at like I'm
going by how he is, like, you know, like he just how he.
But it's still you're still implying that.
Right.
You know
but
what I mean? What I'm saying
by
is
his
that
actions, and
he didn't have to do it.
You're right.
He didn't have to do it.
I mean, but he might have had something to prove, though. You know what I mean?
I don't think
he had a bunch of people telling him that he would never happen.
Just by like I'm thinking, like, we're talking now. I'm thinking about the speech. I forgot what it was where Obama was talking and he made that joke
about you'll never be president.
Yeah,
that was at the press corps. I think.
Yeah. And this was after he was trying to run the first time, and it didn't pan out. You know what I'm saying? And then. You know, so it could have been a little bit of that too. You know what I mean?
I don't think so.
I mean, how can you know though for sure? You can say you don't think so, but I mean,
I know because of other reasons. I'm not going to go into that, but I know because what God shows you the intentions of people's hearts in certain areas, right? That doesn't mean that they're perfect, and that doesn't mean that they don't have a lot more humbling to do. But it's the reason why that they get into it. That's my point. It's the reason why they go into it.
Yeah,
right?
and I never said, like, I believe, sorry to cut you off, I believe that he truly cares about, you know, the country. He really did.
And he wants he wanted to fix a lot of things.
Right.
Yeah. And he also probably knows a lot of things that the average person as a businessman probably don't understand, you know, the political aspect, you know, because we don't understand how politics works with business. We don't get that. The public doesn't, you know what I mean? But one person I wanted to bring up that I felt, to me, that when he found out what this country was doing, did do something and paid the ultimate price, was Kennedy.
Yeah.
Kennedy did find out.
As you were saying, and I'm thinking,
He did find out as he got in. And like you said, we're not here to judge anybody's character because we don't know them personally. We can only make, you know, certain guesses or whatever it is. But I feel that speech he gave when he was basically trying to address what was happening behind closed
what he was
doors,
starting to find out.
What he was starting to find out. And I think that speech was an indication, without saying specifically what's going on, but for the people who do understand a certain coded language, that look, there's certain things that are behind closed doors that I'm moving this country in a certain direction, and he aims to.
He was dropping clues, if you were paying attention.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think Trump came in that same, not exactly, but in that same manner, where he wanted to do away with a lot of this underlying power. It's working,
especially for the
behind
media
scenes.
aspect. For the media, I think he exposed the media's overwhelming support of the left.
Yeah, I think the reason why Trump was so easy to attack for people is because he wasn't like Kennedy. He didn't drop clues. He would just say exactly what he knew. Like when he was on the debate stage and he was like, "I gave all you guys money. I know how this works."
But that's what was needed.
Yeah.
Like I think he was needed for a time to show like, yeah, there's stuff going on here.
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, I thought
another one.
Yeah.
There are people that come along, but look at what they have. Look at this. Look at what happens. Look at the sacrifices. You know, Trump didn't get murdered or anything, but he went through a lot. You know, he went through a lot of craziness.
He got murdered. You know,
publicly.
I was gonna say symbolically. You know what I mean?
And why are they going so hard at him? Obviously, there's a reason to that. You know, so in that's why I just like we all have our issues, but I respect him because he went into it, and I know he had to feel like he was gonna. He might not have understood the level that he was going to get attacked, but I know he knew.
Yeah, for me, I think it would be what convinced me that he was doing this for more than just himself. And I do get that what you're saying. I agree with you. I think that he's a person who he's used to a certain amount of attention, and he's a tit for tat person. But what convinced me was when I found out that he was donating his entire salary, and he was the first president to do that. You know, he never took any thing, and I think things like that
because he didn't need it.
He didn't need it, you know. But
no, like I agree with you guys. Like I respect the dude. And,
yeah. No, I understand what you understand.
He did a good job.
I think it's just that from the exposure of what the media was doing and how they handle certain things, he nailed it.
Yeah.
And I think the American people were onto that, but they had no proof.
They had nobody,
you know, and no one with that amount of power and money to tell them, you know.
Yeah. And I think what we do wrong with people is we pull them into this almost like God-like worshiping type thing where now they can do no wrong.
Yeah.
And I like that what he didn't do was he didn't ban people from certain things. He didn't, if a certain person kept on asking him a certain question, he would allow them, but he would call them out on it. You know what I mean? Right. If they came to the press conference and he would be like, "Oh yeah, you're this, you're that," but he wouldn't
fake news.
He wouldn't. He wouldn't, and that's what I like. It's like
he didn't run from. He sat down with so many reporters that he knew were going to try to destroy him, and did these interviews. You know, he just did the one with Pierce, Morgan, and you see how he had to like release his own unedited clip of. Because they tried to turn it into like he stormed off mad and he ended the interview and stormed off. Then he had to release his own clip that showed that like they were shaking hands at the end and it was nothing like that. You know what I mean?
But I do want to make one point. You and I talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
There was one man aside from Kennedy, but this was when I feel now I wasn't here at the time, but
I already know who you gonna say.
I go back and I watch this all the time.
The original Trump.
We had a chance for a third party system.
Yep.
We did have a chance.
The pause?
No. Ross Perot.
Ross Perot, man.
Ross Perot funded his own campaign.
He bought that airtime with his own money, and got up there with his charts and his little accent.
And everything he said has come true.
Right.
Everything.
Right. If you go back and watch what he was saying, he predicted everything.
Yes.
Yeah. And you know, if it wasn't for the shenanigans in the electoral system, the two-party system, because he was the reason that, you know, Clinton got elected pretty much. Right.
Now they both got together. Bush and Clinton was like, we cannot have a two-party.
No, it's your mic cable.
We cannot have a three-party system.
Yeah.
So we got to get rid of course, Clinton, you know, won that. But, you know, but I go back and I look at that because I'm like, was there ever a time, because me not being born in this country, where when I hear this and I hear other businessmen that I work with older than me tell me there was a man who was Trump before Trump, but without the sensationalism, without all of that.
Right.
H.S. Ross Perot. And he did buy his own TV time. He did have a grab. and they called out Hillary on that. I think Wolf Blitzer called it that. Would you go back and say, well, I don't remember. He just had a bunch of charts.
Yeah.
You know, because it was true.
Yeah. And he was really a really smart dude. He was a great businessman. He had his own money. You know, he
talked about all of this.
Yeah. He talked about trade. He talked about everything that they were doing to the economy. And, you know, he almost won.
I think a lot of business people supported him. I think that's what Trump was. Trump was a politician that was for people who are entrepreneurs and at least in the world of business, they understand what he was saying in terms of trade with China,
right?
Specifically with China, you know, what was happening there, you know, and a lot of politicians, whether right or left, would never say that because they know that would get them in trouble. I don't think a lot of Republicans, aside from Trump, would say what China is actually doing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, because a lot of them make their money there. A lot of them a lot of the policies that they're supporting are like, and it's so intermixed with the business relationship with China that they can't say anything.
And that's why the narrative of him being a racist was so important to the Democrats, because if they can convince you that anything he says that was a little, you know, spicy, they can go right back to that because they needed to make that connection. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Lena. What's up? She just joined
what
the
up?
conversation. Can she hear us?
Hi, guys. Yeah, my is really weird. So like, so, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Hi.
What up?
John, can you turn her audio down a little bit? It's a little bit loud. But yeah, how are you doing?
How about
Good, good.
You hear what we've been talking about, right?
yeah, there's several different topics. You guys were just talking about just now. What is it? What just flew out of my head. I know we talked, but it flew out of my head.
We were just talking about politicians and how they never want to take accountability for when they do something wrong.
That's great.
But I know you wanted to talk about this. Why are we having this delay? Is that her? Is that on her end?
I think it is. I think it's my. I don't didn't use it for it.
Okay, we gotta
But
get you. Possibly try that. Maybe because you're doing it on your laptop, right? Okay.
There's a question here from Emma.
Yeah.
It says, quick question, out of topic. Talking to someone a few days ago, and he mentioned America is also under foreign attack. He mentioned foreign nations, I guess it means nations, couldn't bring war to America, so they rather have the youth get less involved in building the nation and also encourage you not to believe in facts, I guess, but let their emotions determine their actions. What's your take about the conspiracy?
Sure.
About this conspiracy
TikTok.
theory?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the modern way of warfare. Like you can't physically just go in and conquer a nation anymore like you used to. You know what I mean? You have to go in and break them down psychologically.
Right. And I think Hitler said something to the effect of not just give me the economy, but give me the books, give me the children.
Yeah.
You know, and I will shape their future.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Give me that. And you know, what was books in 1920, 1940?
That's what the internet is.
That's what
now.
the internet is today.
Yeah.
You know.
And social media, like China having TikTok.
Yeah, all you have to do for me is this. Go back and look at history and do a bit of comparative a comparison and seeing what were the tactics, and then basically update it to today. You know, the newspaper of yesteryear is now Twitter. You know what I mean? So social media replaced all of those things. It replaced all those things. But propaganda would have come from literature at that time.
Radio,
there's
TV.
A comparison photo that I saw where it's at a bus station in the 1940s, and everybody was reading a paper.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was sitting there reading. Now, the next picture is a picture of today, and everybody's on their cell phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, the older people are like, look at these people.
Yeah.
They're all playing. Everybody thinks they're playing games, but it's just the medium of information has changed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think that statement, whoever made that, is absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
If you can change and shape the way people think when they're younger, when they get older, it wouldn't be hard to bend them.
Yeah.
You know, and the Bible actually has something to say about that when it comes to raising a child in the way that he should go, you know. Because when he gets older, he won't depart, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. It's the same concept, but in reverse.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because if you can get a younger generation to think something is normal,
right?
You no longer have to
and
all
not
you gotta,
care.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you don't have to do any more convincing. They grow up. If they grow up with the idea that we can be locked down at any time,
or masks,
or whatever, you know what I mean. Any type of authoritarianism just becomes normal.
Or whatever
to them.
disease comes along.
Yeah,
right.
they won't even think to be upset about it. It's just here we go
or
again.
fight against it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, get them to think that they shouldn't have guns. Get them to think that they should have abortions.
Right.
Get them to think that
Yeah.
they shouldn't have kids, get married. You
Well,
know?
what's more important? Like, you know, I've heard from watching different things. TikTok, for instance, their algorithm out there is feeding them
There's 100%
engineering.
fact. There's 100% fact.
You know, things that's beneficial to the economy.
It's all about educating them. Sciences,
Yeah, their version of it.
engineering,
Yeah.
So here it's you know,
dances,
whatever. You know, the dances.
I like
I know you see the kids all the time.
Yeah.
You know, 10-year-old kids walking down. I'll go to Walmart with Noe, and I'll see the girls. It's mainly girls that are like
doing their dance moves.
just walking and doing.
Yeah.
Because you don't ever see little boys get blown up on TikTok for doing dances. It's only little girls.
Right.
But in China they definitely don't if you're of a certain age, you can't even see those videos. The algorithm will only show you educational stuff, and they have a limit on how much time they can spend.
I think it shuts down after 10 o'clock or something.
Yeah, I think it's 9 p.m. that it shuts down. They can't even they can't even
Hmm.
access it anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course, the era of dropping a bomb and mass invasion is still available.
Yeah.
But what's more
But
important?
the repercussions that they do that to the U.S.
Right. It's over.
You know,
Right.
the repercussions of that are too dire to really like what Putin's doing right now is so crazy because everyone's like, you know, or what they're telling us is happening. You know, who knows what's really going on? But you know, it's because for someone to invade and actually go to like war like we're doing right now.
Right.
You know, we do it all the time because you know we're the U.S. Nobody really wants to mess with us like that, which is still wrong. But nobody's going to be able to do that to us. So the only tactic they can really use is psychological.
And what's the best way to destroy our societies from within?
Yeah.
Let them tear themselves apart.
Yeah. Make them hate themselves.
Yeah.
Make them hate their own
I mean,
country.
listen, all of these things are actually in a lot of movies people watch.
Yeah.
If you ever go back and watch Civil War, Captain America.
Yeah.
That was one of the guys, his little credence at the end. He admitted, he's like, I couldn't fight them one-on-one. I'm not going to win.
Yeah.
They have everything at their disposal. But if I get them hating each other and fighting one another, they'll do it for me.
Right.
But people miss these little things. But that's basically what it is. The art of war, all of that stuff comes from that tactic, is to go in and destroy them.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know?
House divided can't stand.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not really a war. Although humans engage in it, it's really a supernatural thing. It's really a mental thing. We don't war against flesh and blood, right? Powers, principalities. And you think about, like, what are we casting down? Imaginations. That's the warfare.
Yeah.
We're casting down the thoughts, you know, and the imaginations. And really, so the point is to get people to just feel and do how they feel. Because now you're just judging, and now you got to deal with those consequences, because it's very irresponsible to do that, right? And if you can get people to just feel and do, there's no judgment there. There's no process of thinking. There's no respect. There's no honor. There's no fear. And then it just becomes whatever.
And those people will never fight back.
No.
Because they're docile, do you know what I mean? But I wanted to point out something too. You know, this also shows, for me, the lack of male leadership, like fatherhood. Because your kids this wouldn't happen if there was real parenting going on from a father-o perspective, and a mother too. But there's a lot of kids that, you know, when my dad said something, that was it. You know what I'm saying? So if turning off the TV, I wanted to stay up at 15 and watch all the late night shows, but that wasn't happening.
Right.
But now you give a kid an access to a phone that they could take to their bedroom.
Yeah.
While they're going to sleep.
Oh, you can still turn it off though. I do.
You know, but I'm saying you can.
Yeah.
But how many people do?
Yeah. You gotta set that time limit on there.
Did we lose Lena?
Yeah, I guess.
She said she tried to click back on, but she's waiting for backstage. I don't know what that means. Waiting backstage. Oh, she's waiting backstage.
Oh, okay. Well, Speaking of dividing from within and speaking of warring, and I know this is something that she brought up in the chat.
Yes,
she asked if we talked about this yet, which we didn't, but I'm going to bring it up now. You guys heard about the mass shooting in Texas. It just happened.
Just happened.
An elementary school, multiple children. I think it's like 14 children dead right now.
Wow.
2 adults.
2 adults now.
Multiple injuries.
Three adults and the rest kids.
This is one of the articles here from the Post Millennial talking about it. I don't really have much information. I mean, we can kind of go through it.
18 years old.
18 years old. Apparently, he texted some girl right before he did it. Some girl that he likes or something.
I know he took a selfie, right? Somebody showed. No.
I just heard about it late before I came in here.
Yeah. Allegedly, the Texas elementary shooter Salvador Ramos told some chick on Instagram what he was planning to do beforehand. Let's see if we can pull up this tweet. I guess it's got the screenshots of the messages. Hey, stranger, I know nothing about him. He's a stranger. I know nothing about him. He decided to tag me in his gun post. I'm so sorry for the victims and their families. I really don't know what to say. So he said, hey, you going to repost my gun pics? What? What your guns got to do with me? Just wanted to tag you. I'm so confused. But why? Okay, grateful I tagged you. No, it's just scary. I barely know you, and you tagged me in a picture with some guns. I don't know.
And he says, "I'm about to."
Yeah, I'm about to. It's weird, man.
Didn't say anything.
It's just evil, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
14 students are dead. 1 teacher following the shooting. And the shooter's grandma was also killed prior to the school shooting. So he killed his grandmom too.
Yeah. 14 students dead. More. Dozen people were injured. Taken to the hospital after shooting at Texas elementary school. Early reports stated that
Where
2
was this
children
at?
were killed.
Texas.
Very good.
Doesn't say. Uvalde Memorial Hospital. Multiple children. I guess this is the town here.
Uvalde, Texas. They don't really say why he went to that school, that particular school.
Well, let's see. Confirms the shooter's Instagram was just nuked. I nabbed this screenshot.
That's what I see.
Though of his one and only post, it was this, another selfie and a picture of a gun magazine. Let's check this out.
An 18-year-old male who resided in Uvalde. It's believed that he abandoned his vehicle and entered into the Robb Elementary School in Uvalde with a handgun, and he may have also had a rifle, but that is not yet confirmed according to my most recent report. He shot and killed horrifically, incomprehensibly, 14 students and killed a teacher. Mr. Romas, the shooter, he himself is deceased and is believed that responding officers killed him. It appears that 2 responding officers were struck by rounds but have no serious injuries. The Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District Police Department is the investigating agency, and we will provide them and the city of Uvalde substantial investigative and patrol assistance. We're in the process of obtaining detailed background information on the subject, his motive, the types of weapons used, the legal authority to possess them, and conduct a comprehensive crime scene investigation and reconstruction, and identify and interview all witnesses and provide victim services and other support as needed.
All right.
Sad, man.
Yeah.
It is.
So it's near San Antonio.
Okay.
It's kind of like right between the border of Mexico and San Antonio, where that happened.
Yeah. Very sad, man. Hearts go out to those families.
Yeah.
I don't know. What did you want to say about this, Lena?
I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on. Really bad. I don't know why. I've tried to do everything. Publishing.
Just technology.
It's all good.
It's weird.
I do so hate it. I do.
Do you want to speak on this? Because you asked if we talked about it.
Yeah. I'm bag.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's lagging. Okay. So I was wondering if I should just like do the screenshot. What I found interesting. I'm these students all that. I was looking at the because this happened.
Yeah.
Did happen. Watching a live spoke, and then someone came on after we were talking. The 27th, I believe they said 27th shooting. Here, it's May. It's May. Not even in the middle of the year yet. 20.
Yeah.
So I'm like, look something because this is making sense. Why is this? It gotta be. But is a in Texas.
Mm.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm gonna go look up quick. I did a on put my screen really quick.
Yeah, another Bush is running in that race
for
okay. Attorney General.
I did. Let me. Earlier, it was like about 30 minutes. They're talking law in Texas.
Yeah.
I almost like this like set up for something because they're obviously trying to bring back up, trying to get there's an election that's happening today. Texas, June 7th, we got primaries. Then we got Iowa, we got Mississippi, we got Montana, we got New Jersey, we got Mexico and South Dakota. If something happens in one of these, I won't be surprised. I don't know. Something feels about this. 20 shootings of this. Like
yeah.
It feels weird. Set up something.
Yeah, it's definitely, every time something like this happens, they jump on the gun control narrative right away.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
They changed the definition of a mass shooting, what was it, like 2 years ago?
Yeah.
So I think it's 2 or more is considered a mass shooting.
Unless it's gang violence, then that doesn't count.
Yeah.
Because
Chicago's out of it.
If you look at
because it's usually blacks.
If you look at the shootings, people were showing like the shootings where there's been 2 or more people killed. It's like there's massive amounts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they don't count those because they're like gang violence or in the inner city. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mm.
Yeah, but they already have it programmed, so when they say mass shooting, it's automatically, we need to go get rid of guns.
Yeah, George just said something. He said, crazy how far left makes it seem like mass shootings mainly happen when Republican is in office. But here, we are with a Democrat in office, and how many mass shootings have we had already?
Yeah. But it's because Ultra MAGA.
Yeah,
Ultra MAGA is on the move.
Right.
Yeah. But we'll see. They're gonna they're doing the digging right now to find out what this guy's ideology was.
Yeah.
If he was just like the shooter in Buffalo, if he was,
he's clearly Hispanic.
Somehow not a right wing nut, they're gonna just
He's a black.
we're not gonna talk about it. But if he
extremist,
if there's any American flags on his social media or any type of like 2A stuff, then that's all we're gonna hear about.
How did he get into the school? Like
I saw someone
like,
showed a picture.
When I go to the school, when I go to
doors
elementary
are
school,
usually
it's
locked.
locked, and you have to buzz in, and they don't even like even if a teacher's walking by, like they'll shut the door on you before you know you can't just walk in with them.
Yeah.
He was 18.
Lena said he was a high school student, but this is a picture of him just like walking around on the grounds.
Look like a rifle.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how you get into a school.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? They were already some sort of issue. Someone had called security, some type of police there already, so they were distracted, and now he was in. I think that.
It's sad, man.
It's always innocent kids, man. He's not going into the army base.
Nope.
Like you want to play Fortnite, go to an army base, dude.
But this is what I'm saying. Like they always target places where they know people are helpless,
Little to no resistance,
and that's why that gun law stuff makes no sense, because even the Buffalo shooter said that in his manifesto. Like, you know, he knows he can go to certain places because they're not going to be protected.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
And even the guy, the black dude that everyone was calling the coon, who was talking and saying that he talked to him for an hour. There's a part of the interview, what's his name, Colin Noir or something like that. He's a he played the interview in its entirety. Well, not entirely, but most of it. He said that guy said, "Hey, if we had guns, we could have done that. Cut. You know, what I mean, we could have fought back. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because if somebody has on body armor, you're not gonna, you know what I mean, unless you have a really good aim.
Yeah.
But in the moment when everything is going on, you're just firing back.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, that's training too. You're taught to.
But I'm saying that guy's a cop, right? The guy who died, he was a cop too. The security guard, former cop. So he's trained,
right?
But that's just not effective.
No, but you're trained to shoot
center mass. Center mass.
Headshots are because they're hard.
Yeah.
But I'm saying the firepower, was that enough to take down a guy with body armor? Probably not, right?
Not if he's shooting nines.
Yeah.
No.
But
I mean, unless you group it.
Yeah.
Well, he said he had like a rifle. They didn't know what he had, right?
But he picked a place.
And a handgun.
He picked a place where he was sure
that
not many people are going to be armed.
Yeah. Yeah.
We hear you.
Oh, she was talking to her. So.
Oh. I thought she was talking to us. Oh. Yeah, but, you know.
Should be armed guards. All these
people, they target these places on purpose because they know it's, you know, people are sitting ducks. You know? And my point was like, putting a law in place is not going to stop someone who wants to do that type of damage from doing it. They're not following the law anyway.
Yeah, because you can get it illegally. You can get it anywhere.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that the Buffalo mass shooter didn't kill himself.
Yeah. I know. But, yeah, it's tragedy.
Sad.
Tragic.
Yeah.
Hearts out to the families. Because, man, kids.
Yeah.
That's hard.
It's kids.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
It's
I would be saying more, but I talk like. Sorry.
It's okay.
It's all right.
Because someone earlier had said something about the shoe don't if it's gay. I'm not you guys are the ones that I learned this from, but actually I might have been you guys I learned this from. Like what is it called? When police are responding, it depends what them like is black something called like some non-interest. Like, I'm doing that from y'all. I can't remember.
Yeah, there was a story we talked about. I think it was in Chicago where they chose to not prosecute because it was retaliatory gang violence, and 2 people had killed each other. And I remember we talked about that on here. That's like, I forget the term that they use to describe it, but it has to do with like if they were both engaging in
shooting
a gunfight. Yeah. Then there's no need to prosecute anyone for murder. You know what I mean? Basically, they won't even. So
investigate. They're not going to hold them accountable. Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah,
and you have no bail laws and defund everywhere.
Yep.
So they're saying.
Go ahead.
Can't hear Lena.
No, she's looking something up.
No, he's saying in the chat. I think they're saying in the chat they can't hear her. Is she not going out live? John?
She should be.
Yeah. Says no, can't hear her. Yeah, doesn't seem like anybody can hear her.
Oh.
She's choppy in and out. You're choppy,
Sorry.
Lena. Nobody can hear you.
Well, while she's looking that up, we have this article about Pfizer from the papers that dropped.
Pfizer.
The clinical trial revealed that the company's COVID vaccine had a 12% efficacy rate.
What's this from? What source?
This is from the it was from the papers that they dropped, the documents that they jumped. I think it was like 80,000 papers or 80,000 pages of documents that they jumped. People have been going through them.
COVID-19.
12%.
You know
what's coming next year?
The thing that they wanted 95 years hidden.
Well, we know what's coming next. We know what's coming next.
Oh.
Speaking of that,
you guys want
to go ahead and transition to the pox.
The monkey pox?
The parade pox? Put the parade pox on.
Right. The parade. The pride pox.
The parade pox. Put it together. A parade.
Yeah.
You really get pox, but they're like, rainbow colors? Is that what it is? No?
Skittles? Like the Skittles commercial.
Like the Skittles.
Oh, no.
Ew.
No, but there was a lot of people talking about how most of the cases were seeming like they were coming from one festival in Spain, where there was like 80,000 people from all over the world there, and it was like a pride festival.
Didn't say Germany and Spain?
I think the main one was in Spain. But like, yeah, and I saw everyone tweeting about like, this is seeming to be sexually transmitted. It's, and then everyone would just roast them like, no, it's not. And they would show all the documents from monkeypox in the past and how it could be like airborne or how it could just be from like close contact with somebody. But what they're saying is like this version that is spreading can be spread through sexual activity. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So like everyone was going like trying to squash that narrative from the jump, from like going so hard.
CDC confirms.
Yeah, CDC confirms. I showed y'all the video from the health general in the UK.
But that's when CDC don't matter.
Right.
Yeah.
Science.
Because you're going against a community. So,
yeah.
Or you at least making implications.
Right.
Even if it's correct.
We don't want people to marginalize us over this. That's what everyone's saying. But yeah, are you guys going to get the smallpox vaccine over this one? The U.S. ordered 2 million doses back in 2019. For some reason, they saw this coming.
It just so happened that
really,
WEF
20.
I'm serious.
War gamed it.
Yeah, they did a war back in March in 2021, right?
Yeah.
They just like they did
crowd.
Event 201 for a coronavirus flu outbreak. They did one for a smallpox. Was it monkeypox or did they did one for a monkeypox outbreak?
Bruh,
and
really?
what would be the protocol And then come to find out, the U.S. ordered 2 million doses of the smallpox vaccine, which smallpox has been eradicated. Why would we need that? They bought that back in 2019.
Because these are monkeys, man.
But how did they know that we was going to get monkeypox?
Right. Just like how they knew about coronavirus.
Right.
Didn't Bill Gates or somebody patent, or was it Fauci?
Fauci.
Yeah.
He's got a
holds the
piece
patent.
of it.
But also,
Come on, man.
There was a clip of Bill Gates talking about how smallpox could be used as another pandemic. You know what I mean? He was talking about this last year.
You know that crowd is meeting now.
That's right. That's right. And they're talking about giving the WHO the authority to lock down everyone if in the world, all of the countries that are signed on to them.
They're not even going to wait till a Republican gets in office? They're going.
No, Biden's over there right now telling them Klaus Schwab is over there.
Amendments.
Did you see Klaus bringing Zelensky up?
Yeah.
As a speaker, praising him.
Yeah.
It's man.
Like, you're in the middle of a hot war.
Yeah.
What are you doing talking to them?
Right. And then the clip you sent us where he's talking about us stakeholders.
Oh yeah.
We're building the world that we want. Like what?
We have the power to do it.
Yeah.
The Great Reset.
Yeah, and then your boy Dan Crenshaw was on the interview acting like he don't know what the Great Reset is.
Right.
No, really?
Yeah, for real.
That dude is getting worse and worse, man.
Talking about, it's just a bunch of Democrats. Like it's really not what you say it is.
Even though he came out of the Young Republicans, which
Yeah.
is a Soros-backed.
He was on that list. He was top on that list, actually. That
people that got rich off of
stock market stocks.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
He was going back and forth with Ian Smith, that's running for Congress here.
Yeah.
Him and Dan Crenshaw got into something on Twitter like last year.
About what?
Ian Smith called him out for being, hack.
Yeah.
Just a fake. And
is he the guy with the
eye patch?
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, let me see under your eye patch, bro.
Wouldn't it be funny if
let
he
me
really
see under your eye patch?
He took it off before. He took it off.
Just an old regular eye.
Or it's like another patch under it with an eye drawn on it. Messed up eye like makeup. Another clip went viral on Twitter. Seems to be a woman, and her and her car seem to be at a ballot box multiple times in one day.
Is this from 2020 or these elections now?
This is from 2020. I think
There's
this is
good explanation for that. Like she's going to her auntie, she's going to her
36
grandma.
minutes later, October 28th, 2020.
Is this from 2000 Mules?
I think it is from that.
That's her mom's ballot,
She takes photos of herself dropping absentee ballots off.
Taking photos.
Because that's how you get paid.
See, that's how.
Yeah, that's how you get your money.
Yeah, you got to verify.
21 minutes later, she's back again.
Why does it remind me of SpongeBob?
21 minutes later, she's back again with more ballots. Same car. And it's so funny because
she don't even care.
When you look in the tweet replies, like there's so many people still trying to make excuses for this. Oh, you don't know. She could be. That might not even be the same person. A lot of people have that car.
Might not be the same person. They say it wasn't you.
Look, she has on a white jacket this time. Clearly not the same person.
This is where that geo-tracking
She's
stuff
doing a good deed for her grandmom or her neighbor.
Dude, she's sitting there stuffing this ballot box, bro.
City of Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
It's called ballot harvesting. You're not allowed to do it. It's illegal.
The Red Scout pickup truck. The passenger appears to use 2 cell phones to record satellite voting center and drop box. October 29th, 2020.
Oh, it's a red truck now.
Yeah, this is a different situation.
But that's her.
So True to Vote is where all that info came from.
Oh, she's got a few now.
And that's what they were saying, that True to Vote's information, they biased it with at least 10 trips.
Yep.
Because, you can do like 3 and maybe
And
there's
you
an
can tell
explanation
that
for it.
the way how this stuff is set up, it's set up so it could fail.
Yeah.
Because all you would have to do is, if you're going to have a voting system like this, you have a barcode, and when you get there, it scans, the thing opens, you put it in, and you can't keep on doing it.
Right,
Because it'll
right.
just be you. It's the
Right.
same thing like where, after all this planning, the best they could come up with was a paper vaccination card, and wonder why people are going to copy this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When now I've been doing this for the last like year and a half or 2 years, in terms of, for both my cars, license, registration, all of it is done by barcode now. They couldn't do the same thing. You know what I mean?
Giving them ideas, James.
No, what I'm saying is if say like they wanted to do this ballot box thing.
Yeah.
And it would only respond to, so you couldn't go
But
there.
they don't want to do that, dude.
No, I know.
They wanna
That's what I'm
make-
saying. This is not that hard to
Yeah,
fix. So
right.
for the people who are like, what do you want them to do?
Yeah,
This
right.
is easy.
Yeah. But I think, like, look, monkeypox is going to open the door for even more mail-in voting
Mail-in
coming up in
ballots.
November.
Listen. In 2022, it'll be her, but with like 8 hands. I never know, man. She got spider surgery, man. She has 8 hands with 8.
She's got a whole bag. She's got a whole sack with her, just dragging it over.
She's Santa Claus's niece.
Right.
Leave her alone.
That's why it's not enough to just see it and complain about it or talk about it.
Yeah.
You know.
We got to do something.
You got to be about it.
Well,
You got to pray.
What do we do?
We pray, man.
Just to make it today.
We pray. We pray. Bill Maher is under fire.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
Bill Maher is under fire.
He's becoming too right.
He came at them, at trans children on his show, man. I don't know if y'all seen this. I don't know if I could play the clip because
Bill Maher's been switching.
copyright.
Joe has been getting them.
I don't even think he's switching. They're just moving forward.
It's like the whole Musk thing. Like, I'm still over here.
No,
That-
not switching. But
That's what he said. He said I'm not leaving the left. The left is leaving me. He's like, I'm still in the same place I've been,
Right.
but everyone is just going crazy. And he brought up the chick's book that was on Joe Rogan. That wrote about the social pressures of young girls becoming trans.
Yep.
He brought that up, and he brought up the studies that she was talking about how like social media and pressure from friends groups is causing a disproportionate number of. And then he showed the.
And she's she's a medical professional too.
Right. Absolutely.
I thought she was trans.
No, that's somebody else.
Oh, okay.
No, this woman is she just did the study on it.
Okay.
You know.
Like, all she's not even for or against. She's basically just repeating or just saying what she has found out through the research.
Yeah.
That's it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's not her opinion or
Nope.
anything. It's like,
She's just stating the
I'm
facts.
just saying what
and
I
they
saw.
want to kill her for it.
Yep.
I will play the
And
beginning
finally,
of
Newell,
this.
if something about the human race is changing at a previously unprecedented rate, we have to at least discuss it. Broken down over time, the LGBT population of America seems to be roughly doubling every generation. According to a recent Gallup poll, less than 1% of Americans born before 1946, that's Joe Biden's generation, identify that way. 2.6% of boomers do, 4.2% of Gen X, 10.5% of millennials, and 20.8% of Gen Z. Which means if we follow this trajectory, we will all be gay in 2054.
So like he's showing like raw numbers there. Like how does that happen in that exponential amount? You know what I mean? Like look at those numbers, man.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy about that? So now I've listened to other clinical psychologists talk about this. It's really much happening in here and Europe.
Yeah.
Not other countries.
And he was even showing that like it's happening mostly in California and like certain parts of the country.
Yeah.
Like there's certain areas of the country where those numbers it's not an average across the board.
Average.
You know what I mean? It's like there's certain pockets
And
where
if you challenge that's the thing though, if you do challenge that
Right.
and you do say, wait a minute, you're the crazy person.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's what he's saying. We can't even talk about it. We can't even talk about it. We can't even have a conversation about how is this happening. We can't look at the numbers from someone breaking down the social pressures.
Right, which is what that lady. I
can't remember her name either.
But that's basically what she was doing. She was just pointing out the social pressure, specifically with teenage girls, and the psychosis of what she was finding, and how they felt pressured into it.
Yep.
And
she talked to a lot of people that had transitioned that were talking about.
Well, that's suppressed anyway, because anytime, even the people who have transitioned medically, anytime they go back, or you can't find anything about them saying that they regret it.
Yeah.
There's nothing like that. There was one on YouTube.
They tried to take her book off of Amazon. I don't know if they did or not, but I know they were talking about getting it taken off because it was selling, you know.
Right.
But there's because one of the narratives is like it's reversible. It's reversible. Hormone therapy is reversible, but they don't know that. Right. This is too new.
Right. But then the damage that it does to the body, because you were telling me about the 21-year-old girl. I did hear a little bit about it. The 21-year-old girl who, at 16, she was convinced. Yeah. She did the treatment. She continued. I think she got rid of her breast. And then she went through massive amounts of depression.
Yep.
And after they used her enough to for the narrative. Then when she decided to she regretted it a little bit, they were like, "Oh, bye."
Yeah.
They want to hear nothing from her.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there was another girl I saw on Tim Pool's podcast, and he was interviewing her, and she was just talking about how she had got sucked into it through Tumblr, just because like there's a huge community on there that will validate anything that identifies with that group. So if you're like a girl and maybe you don't like girly things as much, there'll be a whole community on there like, oh yeah, but did you ever try cutting your hair? You might look better with short hair, or like just see how it feels. And then for the girl, like that's not something permanent. It's just my hair. I can cut. I can change it. You know.
But it begins.
It begins. You do it, and then you post a picture, and then the whole community validates you and says how awesome you look. Oh my God, you get all this attention. You get this dopamine hit, and then it's like, hey, maybe you ever think about wearing boys' clothes? Just see how it feels. You know what I mean? And then you do that, and it's the same thing, the same wave of validation. You know, bunch of positive comments, and then the next thing you know, you're being sucked into that. And she was saying that they're like, she went down that rabbit hole, and then one day just woke up like, wait a minute, what am I doing? You know what I mean? But she was on her way.
That to me is what's sad, is because those people who actually went through that process, when they try to speak out, done.
Yeah.
Silenced.
Yeah.
They're hateful.
Right, because you have to do anything you can to guard people from any type of truths that can go against. Like, I mean, you have to be honest about, there's no way numbers can blow up that fast.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And people will say, because a lot of the pushback is, well, that's because people are more free to really be who they are now. That's why the numbers.
Right.
It's like, oh, only in California, though? That's where they're free to be who they are?
Right.
Yeah, so.
And Ed Buck's in jail like, damn it!
Yeah.
Why to be free now?
Right. But yeah, so Bill Maher is, he's getting a lot of flack for even talking about that. You know, I thought that was crazy. Jake, nothing
They just renewed his contract too, I think.
Yeah, I'm about to fall asleep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's warfare. It's warfare. We were talking about it earlier. It's warfare.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. All right. Well, why don't we get to the stuff that you sent me so we can. I gotta show one more thing before we get to that, because
then just don't get to the stuff I sent, because
it is about to be 11.
Well, we started
10:47.
Started at like almost 9.
Yeah. So don't worry about
that.
Right. Oh wait! This is the other one.
Yes. Yes. This one is
it's
hilarious.
This
one is next level though. So remember last week we were talking about Project Veritas. We were talking about how they're always getting people to go on dates with girls and tell the truth about stuff. So this time it's different because it's a guy going on a date with a guy. But it's still the same tactic. But this one is even crazier. Just watch.
Well, right now we don't make profit, so it's going to say ideology, which is what's led us to not being profitable.
The rest of us who have been here believe in something that's good for the planet and not just to give people free speech. Because again, like, these people really do believe in what we're doing. These are the policies we've put in place for misinformation or mislabeling media or whatever. Yeah. Why do you think this should be taken down? Yeah.
So this is Alex Martinez, lead client partner at Twitter. He's on a date, of course. Project Veritas is setting him up, and he's telling about how all they care about is pushing their ideology, and that's it. But it gets really very meta in a second.
Those are the questions they're going to ask him. Yeah. You know, and it's going to be hard for him to be like, oh, because people should make their own decision. It's like, no, but people don't know how to make a rational decision if you don't put out correct things that are supposed to be out in the public. As an advertiser, as my business is what I do every day and why I go out is like, we want it to be as fair and transparent and accurate as possible. Yeah. And if that means there's a level of censorship to make it correct, quote unquote, again, and what does correct mean? I guess like it just kind of goes back to the idea of like, well, what is correct?
If we're implementing all these rules that and Elon wants to dismantle them, then technically our ideology has led us to not making money because we're not making money. And Elon wants to turn it the other way so that we can make money. There's a statement they need.
So he's admitting to the fact that it's not a profitable company because they're putting their ideology above any type of making money. That was just interesting. But
all 7,000 people to say, and so they can't like tell us that like the real truth.
He has Asperger's.
Yeah, I know that.
So he's special. You're special needs. You're literally special needs. So I can't even take what you're saying seriously. Targeting of tweets.
Wait.
You can read it.
Let me see. And how to protect yourself. Groups like Project Veritas are...
He's acting like he don't know. Yo, dude's probably not even gay.
Yo, he said, what is this Project Veritas? Veritas. Is this I never heard of this thing. Never heard of this. He's like telling them about how they gotta watch out for Project Veritas. He's like, Project Veritas. What is this? Never heard of it.
Are active right now. Is that?
It's like some group that's trying to just out the employees. Like they're trying to go out.
He's literally showing him about what he's doing in the moment. Like he's showing the guy that's doing what he's talking about. You know what I mean?
Real time.
Like,
yo,
on dates with them like this.
Like this. They go on dates with them like this. Like, and the guy's just sitting there like,
I know
oh,
he feels
crap.
stupid, yo.
Record them and then go sell it to the New York Times and say this is what the Twitter employee just said. This is what's really happening. This is what they're telling us to not do. You're lucky that you met me organically because I would be questioning everything about you.
Whoa.
Yo, that was one of the best ones. It's like,
yo.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm always thinking, like, how do these people fall for this?
Mm-hmm. Over time.
But he's literally explaining what Project Veritas does and how they set people up on dates to get them to talk about.
The dude was probably in it though for a while. That was probably there like 50.
You saw multiple dates. You saw multiple dates. So he was probably he was probably wishing he could just, you know, say who he was just because this was gonna go so viral.
So you mean like now, like what's happening right now?
Right.
Recording it.
Right. Yo, that one was crazy. He was like, yeah, they take him on dates and they get him to talk about stuff. It's a good thing I met you organically.
Questioning everything.
Yeah,
right. But he's the Klaus Schwab. Like, we came up with this system.
Yeah,
even though it's not making us money.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Again, goes back to the same thing you were saying about The View and all these things. Like, so if these things are not being profitable, but they're constantly being pushed in our face, who's funding these things?
There you go.
Who? If it's just being used as a tool to control information, someone is funding that tool.
Darth Sidious.
And they don't want an Elon Musk to come in and actually turn it into a capitalistic company because then
now they
can't just control it.
Are they talking about how this guy just like made fun of
a lot of people are saying that like
he's a special needs guy.
He's a woke guy, but he definitely said he's special.
Yeah,
he has Asperger's and he's special.
Yeah. He literally said special needs, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I can't even take you serious. What you say serious?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why not?
Because
this guy,
Yeah.
So if they want to, so they're pushing this ideology. It's not making money. So the value that they see is greater than money.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep. It's the controlling the minds of people.
Right. It's really about your life.
Mm-hmm.
Again.
Yeah.
It's really about controlling your life.
Yeah.
They're still making money somehow.
Yeah.
That's the true value.
Yeah.
Because the money comes. Like, if they can get people to buy into something, the money will start to come. Right?
Yeah.
Because that system now is proven to get them to victory. So we got to keep feeding this. So they're getting funded.
Yeah.
But just not in the rate, not in the way we knew or know that rating work and it's
and we know they're lying
donors.
to advertisers.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's why the deal is on pause now because it turns out that
half of Joe Biden's account is
it's
fake
more
followers.
bots. Yeah, more bots than what they were saying.
More than half, right? Was 65% or something like that?
Nah, I think it was close. I think it was close to half.
What is that? You'll own nothing and you'll love it.
That's the Great Reset.
Great Reset.
2030.
You'll own nothing and you'll be happy.
Why is that a conspiracy theory? Didn't they write a book about it?
He wrote a book literally called COVID-19: The Great Reset.
Yeah, but it's when you talk about it, you're a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah. So, I'm just thinking here. So, so that's the ideology, right?
Mm-hmm.
That they're pushing. And if they can get people to go off of, because we were talking about this earlier, feelings, right?
Yep.
You get people to go off of what you feel. That's what you value more than anything, to feel.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do that, you'll judge. That's how you judge everything, based off of how you feel. And that will be the most important thing in your life, right? So now you're like pigs. Because pigs...
Swine.
Yeah. Pigs just go off of what they feel. Yeah.
Right. And dogs.
Mm-hmm.
You know the reason why a dog turns over on its belly?
Why?
Because it tells another dog that I'm submitted to you.
Yeah, that's right.
And we take it as a loving thing,
Yeah.
but it's more of a submission,
Yeah, right.
submissive thing. And it's actually connected to dogs and pigs are very similar in that way, emotionally and intelligent wise. I'm just thinking, because so is that what it is? Are they trying to bring us into a state of lesser to get you not to think, but to get you to mostly just feel, right? Because then you become more controllable.
Cattle.
Yeah.
You become farm animals. You become.
Right.
Yeah. That's a great point.
Yeah. But so it's like we're at war.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're at war. Like, if you see what Bill Maher just posted about how quickly things are escalating, right? We're at war.
Yep.
You know, we're at war for generations
Yep.
that can be lost. You know?
There's a lot of people talking about civil war right now. A lot of articles being written about we're in the middle of a civil war. It's more psychological. It's more informational, you know. Because we're not going to just go out in the streets by the Mason-Dixon line and shoot each other, you know. But
and if it does come to that, they trying to take that option away.
Yeah, they trying to take that away. But it's more about...
I'm going to Stan's house.
It's more about...
well, I think the reason why they're trying to take it away is because if they're going to get the majority, or they're trying to get the majority to comply, right? That word compliance.
Yeah.
To comply. Why? Because they just want to feel safe.
Yeah.
They just want to feel comfortable. They just want to feel. See, that's, again, goes back to your feelings. Then the ones that are fighting against it, then they can't fight as much. So they get taken out, right?
Yep. Tim Pool always talks about this experiment. I forget what it's called, but it's basically this doctor, he is a psychologist, and he did this test on rats where if you put them, he put them in like a bucket of water where they couldn't escape. And he put the rats in there, and they swam for 15 minutes, and then they all died. So then he tries the experiment again, and he puts the rats in, but right before the 15 minutes, right before they were about to die, he pulls them out and lets them rest. And then he puts them, once they're rested and comfortable again, he puts them back in the water, and now they swim for 60 hours straight. Because now they already have the idea of the hope of someone's going to save me. And I'll if I just keep going, like the other ones had no idea of hope, so they just
give up.
They give up and they die. But once you give them that inkling of hope, like this trauma will be over soon, and then I'll be good. You know what I mean? They'll push even further, and I think like if they do that a lot with us, where it's like take something away from you, and then give you a little bit of freedom back. And then they take more away, and now you're just like, okay, but we'll get a little bit back soon. You know what I mean? And then
the masks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Right. How about the TS? How about TSA? How about income tax?
Yep.
How about all these things that they implement?
Was just for a time.
Right.
Yeah.
And they use our feelings and emotions to get us to sign up for these things and be on board with these things, and then they give us the promise of it'll be taken away, but it's never taken away. You know.
Yeah.
So I think you're right, man, and I think it's like we have to do better.
Yeah. I mean, would you give your emotional 3-year-old responsibility over your household? No.
Nope.
Obviously not. And would a mother give No. But what would a mother do? She would overcompensate most of the time. She would overcompensate because of the feelings of the child, right? That's the difference between a mother and a father. You need a father who's... The Bible says that to obey the father's commands and listen to the mother's teachings. That's two different things, but it's under the same umbrella. Right. A mother teaches and she'll guide you into things, but she has to guide you into the things of the father. But that's the command, right? Teachings are of the command, right? A command is just, it's this, right? But the mother leads you into that. If the mother doesn't have that parameter, she's going to do too much, right? She's going to overcompensate for the child, and then that leaves the child helpless because her love overcompensates.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And
it's true.
Yeah, and I think like this is the kid whines, and then there's an overcompensation for that, right? And that's the back and forth game that you play. So a father's job is to be responsible and hold the line, even though it doesn't feel good for the child.
Right.
You know? And that's, you're laying down your life because you're not liked in those moments.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely not. Yeah.
And we're like on a grander scale, this is what we're dealing with, this kind of stuff. Because somebody who is very emotional cannot lead, cannot rule, cannot be held responsible. So now you have to be a slave. That's what a slave is. Like, that's what a servant is, right? And I'm talking about, like, I'm not on terms of, like, blacks that can't, that's different. I'm talking about in terms of slavery. People would go into slavery because they weren't able to be responsible for themselves, right, or their property. So they would have to sell themselves to somebody because they went too far into debt.
Yeah.
So now they sell themselves over, and then somebody can cover them, right? Yeah. Just like a child is covered by their parents, but now I'm covering you, and now you have to work for me as a slave for me.
Right. Or they lost in the fight. I said, or they lost in the fight.
That was the original payment plan.
You lost in the fight. But
you lost in battle.
But I'm just thinking of like, are we? It could go back to that, right? It could go back to that way of thinking.
Yep.
You know, and that's what literally you'll own nothing and you'll love it.
And you'll be happy.
Know?
Yeah.
Is this what the Great Reset is about? Resetting back to what slavery is all about. You know?
I think so, but for everyone, for the stakeholder class, and then everyone else.
Right.
So yeah, man, we got to be mindful. We got to be together on this. We got to be unified. We got to be praying, and we got to keep, building out this community of thinkers and people that are paying attention to this stuff. And we got to speak on this stuff so the younger generation isn't getting fooled like we were when we were younger. But let's wrap it up there, guys. Appreciate you guys for watching. Thanks for Lena for trying to jump on the rendezvous. We know you were having some issues, but listen, guys, it's late. Everyone's tired. I hear a lot of yawning going on, so we're going to just wrap it up. Don't forget patreon.com/youngliontv, Cash App, $youngliontv, Jatan.com for merch. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
All right.